Hey guys, today we're going to be solving a first order linear differential equation. So that's what I've got in the top left here. So now a first order linear differential equation is any equation with this form: y prime plus pxy is equal to q of x. To solve this, what you first need to do is make sure that you don't have any coefficients on the y prime and that you only have a coefficient on the y. So what we need to do is we need to find the integrating factor, if, and the integrating factor is e to the integral of px dx. So we're going to do that right now. In our case, p of x is equal to 3x squared, and the integral of p of x dx is equal to just x to the 3. We don't need to worry about a constant c term for the integration factor. You will need to worry about that further down the line. So let's get started. So integral of px is equal to x to the 3, and the integrating factor is just e to the x 3. So that's how that works right there, is equal to the if. So now that we found our integrating factor, we're going to multiply it by the whole equation up here. So that means we get y prime e to the x 3 plus 3x squared y e to the x 3 is equal to 6x squared e to the x 3. Now, one thing we're actually able to notice is that we're dealing with a product rule on the left-hand side. Now, a product rule is when you have two functions, so g of x and h of x. So if we wanted to find the derivative of these two equations that are multiplied together, what we'd do is we'd take the derivative of the first times the second plus the derivative of the second times the first. And that's actually what we're dealing with here over on the left-hand side. Anytime you're dealing with a first-order linear differential equation like this, you should be seeing a product rule on the left-hand side. So derivative of the first times the second plus the derivative of the second. So the derivative of ex to the 3 is actually 3x squared times e to the x cubed times y. So we actually have a product rule on the left-hand side. So what we're going to do is we're going to integrate both sides of this equation. So just throw an integration sign on there. So that brings us to y e to the x 3 is equal to the integral of 6x squared e to the x 3 dx. And one thing to note here is that 3x squared is actually the derivative of e to the x cubed. So that actually works out as follows. So that becomes 2e to the x cubed. Once you have that 2e to the x cubed, and that should have a plus c on there, you're free to simplify. So you take this ex to the cube off of the y, so y is equal to, so we'll just divide by ex to the 3 all the way across here. So that leaves you with 2 plus c by e to the x 3. So that's your final equation there. You may be given an initial condition, and at this point you would then solve for that c value. But this is how you solve a first order linear differential equation. Thank you very much, guys. I'll see you on the next video.